These feathers belonged to a bar-headed goose, one of the highest flying species of birds, famous for migrating over the Himalayas. But these feathers in particular went literally above and beyond, up to the International Space Station. And we spoke with the Mother Goose astronaut who took them there.
Well, I wanted to be an astronaut from the time that I was 5 years old.
Jessica Meir spent the first part of her career researching how animals survive in low-oxygen environments, which now, given her time in space, feels almost poetic. From deep-diving emperor penguins in Antarctica and elephant seals in California, to high-flying bar-headed geese right here in Vancouver.
Canada geese can be an interesting species, but these are not Canada geese. These are the bar-headed geese, and they are much sweeter.
These geese are not native to Canada, but the research was done using the wind tunnel at UBC. She wanted to understand how these birds could fly over the highest mountain range on Earth.
That would be a half of the amount of oxygen that we normally have here at sea level.
To pull this off, they needed the geese to wear a special mask to control oxygen levels. For a wild goose, that's not going to fly. So, Meir raised her own flock.
The first thing that they saw was me, and so they literally thought that I was their mother, who was a modern-day Mother Goose. And I had 12 goslings that were cuddling with me, following me around everywhere I went.
It wasn't uncommon to see Meir walking around campus with a gaggle of goslings. Then she had to teach them to fly.
I would go up and down the road with a scooter, and they would be flying next to me, sometimes so close that their wings would be brushing the edge of my shoulder.
Once they were ready, Meir got to be a proud mother, watching as her goslings took flight in the wind tunnel.
These were my babies. I was completely in love with them, and it was a very, very special connection.
Not long after, NASA recruited Meir. A good reminder, she says, that astronauts aren't just mechanical engineers anymore.
We have medical doctors now, we have chemists, physicists, biologists, we have other types of engineers. We have really a lot of diverse backgrounds.
When rocketing up to the ISS, astronauts are allowed to pack a few small personal items. Meir brought a symbol from each stage of her life. For her time in Vancouver, a handful of feathers from her geese.
I thought it was also fitting that the feathers from these geese, who thrive at such exceptionally high altitudes, went even further than the summit of Mount Everest and all the way up to the International Space Station to around 250 miles or 400 kilometers up above, so way higher than Everest even.
But the feathers aren't the only thing to make history. In 2019, Meir was part of the first all-woman spacewalk.
Wow, that is amazing.
And during her time on the ISS, she became her own test subject, which may not be a surprise. After all, she spent years studying animals in extreme environments. And is there any environment more extreme than space?
Certainly poked and prodded a lot in the name of science in our role as astronauts up on the space station.
Meir is back on Earth. For now. She recently donated 2 of her space feathers to the Beatty Biodiversity Museum at UBC. In classic astronaut fashion, she thanked the people who were part of her journey.
I hope that when people see these feathers, it gives them a little bit of inspiration. For me, this is a symbol of the whole team that builds everything that we do as individuals and, just really riding the shoulders of giants.
And now anyone can come see the highest flying goose feathers in history. Darius Madavi, CBC News, Vancouver.